Hello and welcome. Today I want to show you how I paint sunset clouds from life. And it's in real time, so you can watch me apply every single brush stroke. So sit back and enjoy. My name's Alexander Fjellstedt and I'm a Swedish oil painter. I've been painting in oils for 5 years now. I began painting during sunset a couple years back. I used to just take my easel for a quick 5-minute walk to a great spot close to where I used to live. I pretty much had a 360-degree view of the surroundings and I could see far enough to experience atmospheric perspective, with the surrounding woods changing subtly in color from green to purples and blues as they receded back into the distance. In the summer and beginning of fall of 2018, I used to go out and paint at sunset maybe every other evening on average. And in October I went out every night. I did all of this mainly as a color mixing exercise. It's such a great exercise for learning how to mix color quickly, because you have to mix really quickly to capture the colors you observe, because they're shifting constantly. I think it was Monet that said how he noticed how the light was changing every 8 minutes, and that was during the day. At sunset, it feels like it changes every 8 seconds. So it's a great color mixing exercise, and it's always wonderful to get out and experience the setting sun. So it was a great excuse to just get out. Especially those days when I've been holed up in the studio all day. I used to even go out on completely gray evenings too. Trying to capture the subtle shifts between different grays is a great exercise in color subtlety. I learned a ton from painting at sunset regularly like that. I've since then moved, and while I don't have access to a painting spot like that close to where I live now, I do have a balcony with a fantastic view, ranging from northeast to southeast. So I can't see the setting sun in the west from the balcony, but what I can see is the marvelous colors of sunset clouds from up here. I've been wanting to record sunset painting videos for a while, so it feels great to have the first one up and running now. I'd love to know what you think of this format, so please let me know in the comments below. Personally, I like watching painting happen in real time, so I'm really excited to be able to offer videos with that for you. So let's move on and talk a little about my actual setup and process. Since you have to mix color really quickly, I find that it helps to have a limited palette of colors when you paint at sunset. So my palette is a couple cadmiums: cadmium yellow light, cadmium orange, and cadmium red, together with ultramarine blue and titanium white. I guess I could do without the orange, since I can mix an orange with yellow and red, but it's such a time saver to have it already on the palette. If you want to paint at sunset, I encourage you to find a palette that you like and know how to use efficiently. I know my palette pretty much by heart by now, and I know what happens when I mix my blue with my orange, my red with my blue, and so on. Some people might prefer a much larger range of colors, and maybe they want to include a couple different yellows and a couple different reds and so on. Maybe they want to have some green colors on there as well. For me, I'm perfectly happy with this palette. I've found that it works super well for me in most scenarios. There are definitely colors out there with a lot more saturation to offer than these colors do, and that you could put to good use when mixing sunset colors. So I sacrifice some saturation by using this palette, but there's a natural harmony and beauty to it that I personally think is much more important than matching the exact saturation. After all, this is nothing more than a color mixing exercise for me, and since this is my main palette for painting in general, I feel like I learn the most from using it consistently, no matter what I'm painting. I can mix all the greens that I need with these colors and they look perfectly natural. The red and blue makes a wonderfully muted purple, and the blue and orange mixes into a beautiful gray that's really useful for different cloud and sky tones. Having said that, obviously you can do whatever you want and use any colors you want. Painting is a different experience to everyone, and we all have different motivations and goals when we paint. One thing I've learned from painting hundreds of these sunset scenes is that it's a good idea to compress your values, meaning you compress and paint everything that's light in the scene light and close in value, and everything that's dark you paint dark and close in value as well. The key to do this successfully is to look at the scene as a whole and not focus in on parts of it. For an example, when you look at clouds, they might look quite dark in comparison to the sky. But when you compare them to what's below the horizon line, you'll see that in most cases, they're actually very light. You can observe this phenomenon right now if you compare the clouds to the sky in the video. Then squint your eyes and you will probably notice how the clouds merge into the light tone of the sky in comparison to the general dark tone of the ground. So to enhance this effect of light sky and dark ground, I generally paint clouds a little bit lighter than what I observe, so that they won't be too far off from the value of the sky. Now today I probably went a little extreme with this and ended up with a very compressed value range in the sky. As you can see, the clouds in these studies are almost the exact value of the sky, nearly shattering the illusion of realism. So I could have painted the clouds a tad bit darker. I blame it on being rusty and not having painted at sunset for a while. You really do get better at nailing these things the more consistently you paint sunsets. This isn't a necessarily bad result. It all just depends on the look you're after. I like not to stray too far off from what I see, but there's certainly room for your creative license to change things up any which way you want. Maybe you want to add drama and character to the scene and move things around, change up colors, enhance contrasts. It's all up to you what you're after. Painting is all about expression after all. Alright, so this video is nearing its end. I really look forward to painting my balcony view lots more and sharing those experiences with you. I really hope you enjoyed this first video of many more to come. Please leave a like if you liked this video and let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you have any questions about my painting process or my materials or whatever else, I'll happily try to answer them. I'm going to look into getting more light on my easel in the future so that it's easier to see what I'm doing. I post painting videos every week, so subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching this one and take care. See you all in the next one. Until then, happy painting. Hej då!